So, I thought I'd start this video out now and show you my horrendous eyebrows. Now, you may be thinking, why aren't you showing us that you've badly drawn on your eyebrows? That's because I'm going to be showing you 3 ways to use concealer in this video. And the first way I'm going to show you is that you can use it to actually shape your eyebrows. It really helps if you're trying to make them really sharp and really defined. So, this is the first concealer we're using. It's the BB Skin Perfecting Kit from Gosh. It's a new product. It's in light. And basically it has 3 concealers in it. Well, no, 2 concealers and 1 highlighter. I don't tend to use these colours, I just use the lightest one for this look. Comes with a little mirror as well, which is handy. And yes, by the way, you may have noticed I have short hair now. It's not styled right now, so it looks a bit fluffy and stupid, but I'm not going to talk too much about my hair in this video because you get the gist. I got it cut in a conversation. Sorry, speaking rather fast, it's because I've already tried to record me actually filling in my eyebrows, but that didn't work out, so I just filled them in, and I thought I'd just continue from there. Now, the brush I'm going to be using to shape my eyebrows and with this concealer is this flat brush. It is completely flat, as you can see, and it's squared off at the end. These brushes are fantastic for shaping your eyebrows with concealer. I have no idea where I got this from, but these sort of brushes you can get from an art shop. I'd use a paintbrush, like, they are so much cheaper, you know, and they just do the same thing. So I'm just going to dip this in the lightest shade of the concealer, really mix it around, and I'm going to begin to shape my eyebrows. So I'm going to start on this one here, and basically after you've filled in your eyebrows you just want to use this to shape. So before I go any further though, because I almost forgot then, I'm going to apply primer. So don't be shocked now if I'm sat here looking for this freaking eye primer for all of eternity. It's like the essential step, and primer actually becomes very useful in this concealer tutorial, so I thought I'd just let you guys know that primer is very useful for all sorts of things, not just eyeshadow. It's also useful for your face products, and I will explain why later, where I use this again. So, just priming the lid, la 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 la, nothing too interesting. So, now that I've primed the lid, I'm going to go in with that concealer on the brush, the flat brush I mentioned before, and I'm going to take it straight underneath, straight up. And I'm just doing this to get the desired shape that I want. The square shape of the brush really helps and be really defined. So I'm just putting this really obvious concealer line at the moment. I don't know if you can see that because I've got really pale skin, but I'm just making that really obvious concealer line. And then I'm going to do the same on the top of the eyebrow, just above it. I'm going to take it as well just in front of the eyebrow to give it that really shape. And you can already see the eyebrows starting to look very, very defined. So while we've got the concealer there and we haven't blended it out straight away, we're going to blend out the eyebrow now, because I'm going to add in some more eyebrow pencil where I think it's necessary, which is just on the outer here, which I put the concealer on. And then I'm going to take the little brush that comes on the Rimmel eyebrow pencil and just blend out the inner third of my eyebrow, because I don't like that to be as dark as the rest. And on camera this might not look like it's making a difference, but it is kind of giving that faded in effect in real life. Now I'm going to blend out the concealer using my finger. So that's fine for me. The edge of that one is a little bit sharper, but I can fix that. And always remember, I mean, your eyebrows are sisters, not twins. I mean, they will never be exactly perfect. It's like impossible. So just try and work with what you've got, really. And I always put eye makeup on when I'm doing brows this strong, otherwise they look really too much, you know. So quickly, the next thing I'm going to do is apply my eye makeup, and then I will be back to show you the rest of the concealer tricks. Oh. Okay, so now I've done my eye makeup, just kind of a simple neutral, you know. And now I'm going to show you what under eye concealer I use, and that is the Match Perfection by Rimmel. I recently hauled it. It is amazing. The type of concealer you should use in your under eyes is, for me, always liquid, light reflecting, but it is difficult to find a liquid concealer that has good coverage. This is it. It's fantastic. But first, a little tip. You know how I said primer is useful for other ways than just priming your eyes? I can't believe I've lost it again. Seriously? Found it. Primer is also useful for priming your under-eye concealer. Now, first of all, when you apply the primer, only apply a small, tiny little dot. And then before you apply your concealer, make sure your under-eye area is completely dry and the primer has dried. I learnt this tip from Wayne, who is from HannahDoesMakeup. He is a fantastic makeup artist. He has taught me a lot of stuff. So this is me passing on his tip from him to me to you, just in case you haven't seen it. Apply primer. It really stops your under-eye concealer from creasing, because I know creasing is a huge problem for people putting on under-eye concealer. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry, and I want to talk a little bit about this concealer. So I don't use a brush with this. It comes with a brush. It kind of squirts out a little brush like that, but I squeeze the tube, I apply it with that, and then I blend it with my finger. Like, your hands are the most important tool for concealer blending, because as far as I'm concerned, you can't get better. Like, apart from when I'm doing the precise work with my eyebrows, which one of them's kind of faded a little bit, I have to fill that in a bit more. Too much concealer. Your hands are the best tool. So my eye primer is dry now. It only takes a couple of seconds. Just going to squeeze a little bit of concealer out of the tube, and then I'm just going to show you first start. I don't know if you can see my under eye circles, but they are pretty dark and pretty purple. So I'm going to apply first on this eye so you can see the difference. So I'm just going to do that in a triangle sort of shape, and now I'm going to blend out with my finger. I'm going to use patting motions. And I'm going to stretch that out right the way to the cheekbone as well. Now that's just the first layer and the first application. Can you see that difference? Like, there's a tiny little bit of darkness here. Other than that, like, look at that. That is so different. This is so much darker. It really does make a difference. Like, the concealer is just fantastic coverage, and it's so cheap, and it's so much better than a lot of the high-end ones I've used. So props to Rimmel for making such fantastic under-eye concealer. So I've done it on this side, so I'll just show you another comparison. I don't know if you can see that. So this one is so much brighter than the other. And as I said, the primer will really help this not to crease. So again, I'm just patting and blending this out right to the base of the cheekbone. You can use this as a highlight, and I do use this as a highlight underneath my foundation actually. I do. I'm so immature. I do my concealer before my foundation, well, only my under eye and my eyebrows. The other blemish concealing I'll do with over my foundation. But I always do my under eye concealer before. It's amazing. Just a habit, I suppose. Obviously I avoid this area with foundation when I put my foundation afterwards. It's just about building up in the areas that you really need it the most, but priming is so important with under eye concealer. It's changed the way my under eye concealer looks. And I'll just put some down my nose as well to highlight. On the cupid's bow. Put on the chin. And a bit on the forehead area as well. Just to add a little bit of pre-highlight, I suppose. So that's my under eye concealer done. It really does wake you up. It's such a good trick for people who are tired in the mornings, and I'm always tired, so great. So now I'm going to put on my foundation, and then I'll show you my last and third concealer trick of the day. Stay tuned. So I've applied my foundation, and I was just going to find my blemish concealer, which is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, to show you the third trick, but alas, I can't find it. I really should be more prepared for my videos, but this time I really don't know where it's gone. So either way, the only thing I use my Maybelline Fit Me for is blemish concealing, and literally just pat it on just like I would do with the under eye concealer. But the most important thing to do after applying your concealer anywhere is to set it with powder. Under eye concealer I just set with this HD definition powder. I had translucent, really finely milled powder, and I just used my Sedona Lace blending brush, the EB13, just to really, really lightly apply that into my eyes. You don't want to have a lot of product into your eyes, because that will just, it's like crease central basically. For my face powder, to set my brows and my foundation, I'm just going to use the Stay Matte from Rimmel. It's my favourite powder at the moment, and I'm going to use that on a puff that came with HD powder from e.l.f. I like puffs because they really set the foundation and the makeup well, and also they provide really good coverage. So I'm going to avoid the under eye area and just set everywhere else with this puff. And I'm really rolling that powder into the skin because I really want to set my makeup properly. I don't want it to budge all day. So now that's done, and now I would go on to apply my contour, my highlight, my blush, everything else. But that's it for the tutorial. So it's kind of like an eyebrow, under eye concealer tutorial rolled into one, if you like. Really sorry I didn't include the third one, I literally couldn't find it. Maybe I'll do spot blemish concealing in another video when I actually have blemishes to conceal, because as I said, at the moment I'm pretty fortunate with my skin. But I'm sure at some point some spots will come and arrive on my face so I can show you how to conceal them. That's it for me today. I will make another video soon, so stay tuned. Bye!